want you to show me how to get to know someone like you, someone like you. I want you to know me, 'cause I know then you'll see we can be true, we can be true. I want you to see what I see in eyes, something so real.
Welcome back, everybody. NEMotoGuy here for another car review. Today we're reviewing the all-new 2018 Subaru WRX STI. Huge thanks to Northland Subaru and Mazda out in Lunenburg, Massachusetts for letting me check out this car for you all today. So for 2018 we have a whole new revised front fascia. Here we have an all-new, went from just the painted plastic finish that was part of the bumper on the previous generations. Now we have kind of like a new designed rougher plastic texture here in the center to give it a kind of a different look. By the front bumper you have a whole new designed area for where the fog light bezels used to be. As you can see, there's no more fog light up front and no more turn signal in the fog light area. That's all integrated in the headlights, which is all new for the 2018 WRX STI models. You can see here it's just a complete plastic covering. It's not painted at all. It actually resembles the same upgrade with the center of the front bumper here. You do have a few holes opened up here where it looks like where fog lights would go, but these new holes, I am not 100% certain if they actually direct airflow to where the brakes are or where the tires are to give it a cooling effect, but there are small holes here on both sides of this fog light area of the front bumper. So I'm really curious to know if this actually has any performance or cool down aspects. You have the new STI wheels, which are upgraded from the old 18-inch wheels from the previous model. They are now 19-inch wheels, similar spoke pattern as the 2015 through 2017 models, but they are larger by an inch. And you do have brand new tires to go along with the new upgraded 19-inch models, the Yokohama Advent Sports, whereas in the previous models we had the Dunlop Sport Max. Huge noticeable change here on the 2018 models are these standard 6-pot Brembo brakes up front with the highlighter yellow colored calipers with the drilled rotors to go behind as well. So these are upgraded from the previous models, which were only 4-pot Brembos up front. Now they are 6-pot, so hopefully they provide better stopping power. But aside from that, it's fairly unchanged as far as cosmetic looks, aside from those few details that I mentioned. Now let's check out the inside. All right, so the interior of the all-new 2018 Subaru WRX STI. So there are definitely noticeable changes, but nothing too crazy has really changed. So let's start with the door panel here. Now it's all finished in a gloss black finish here, and here as well you had carbon fiber trim actually on the dash area, whereas they replaced it on the 2018 models. You have a nice gloss black finish here, as well as the center area, and going all the way down to the passenger area as well, all the way down to the door handle of the passenger and the rear passengers as well. They have a gloss black finish. The steering wheel of the STI, still an incredible steering wheel. However, nothing significant has changed. It's still the same leather wrapped steering wheel as the previous 2015 through 2017 STIs, with the perforated leather and the 9N3 grip here, as well as a flat bottom area on the bottom. And the only difference really between the 15 through 17 versus these 2018 model is you have a nice gloss black finish here where the STI emblem is located. That's really the only difference of the steering wheel itself, so I won't really go into too much detail with that. The previous model had a kind of a silverish plastic trim, whereas now it's a gloss black finish, so it's a little bit more upscale, some may say. So as far as the center console here, everything is pretty much the same as the previous models. Really won't go into too much detail with the touchscreen. If you want to take a look, go ahead and take a look at my 2017 WRX STI review. Overall, it's a nice head unit. It's a nice touchscreen, feels great. It's very user-friendly. It handles, I never had any issues with it on my models, so I think it's a really nice touch. The still do not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto ability. And let's check out the gauges here in the car. You have your white lettering and the red needle. That's updated from the previous models. Some people are iffy about it. It looks nice. You know, you don't have that orange red lettering, you know, that gives it that classic Subaru STI, you know, sportiness, but I think it looks great. It looks fine. And up here you have the updated trim piece here. So looks like they copied what finally brought to the US market what they have in the Japan market. So it's soft touch leather with the red stitching here. If you've seen my 2017 STI video where I installed this in my car, that's pretty much the same material. So it is a OEM Subaru piece. It's such a good touch. It really is. It brings like class into the interior of this car. I love it. You now get glossy black finish with this incredible soft touch leather with the red stitching here on the sides. I love this. I think this is amazing. I hope that they will sell these parts individually so I could actually get one for my STI. Awesome job there. That's really nice. Many people waiting for the Recaro seats. Look more aggressively bolstered on the side here. Sad to say, no difference here by the thigh support. It's exactly the same as the previous STIs. I'm in the Recaro seats right now. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think they're worth the upgrade. Sorry. I think literally all you're paying for is the Recaro embroidering on the seat. I can't feel any difference between my STI and these seats. It doesn't really hold me in as much as I was expecting. I can't tell the difference between the stock STI seats and these upgraded Recaro seats for the US market. So if you were hoping that these would be amazing, like at least a little bit of change, honestly, no. And I'm not being biased because I have a 2017 STI. Please go and, you know, sit in a 2017 STI and sit in the 2018 with the Recaro seats. These really aren't. It's really nothing special. I'm sad to say. We do get something else in these seats. Red seat belts. Check it out. Looks nice. We now have one large screen in the center, much bigger than the 15 through 17 models. Everything is integrated to one screen. So you have an upgraded, you know, graphic. Here you have your boost gauge. You have your trip gauge here, which is fully customizable for your average miles per gallon. Here you have your, I believe, your G meter there on the right, as well as your traction on the left. What will happen, your tires will show up green to make sure that, showing you that everything is essentially going according to plan, everything is normal, there's no traction loss or anything like that. Here you have another miles per gallon, average miles consumed, and, you know, miles to empty triple gauge. You have your clock and your calendar and your date, and on the here you have your settings adjustment screen, so you can kind of toggle and play around with the functions and the options to customize it to your personal preference. And back to the boost gauge screen, and on the top left you have your clock, and on the right you have your external temperature gauge. I think it's great what Subaru has done here, so good job there. Hopefully they keep up, you know, with small tweaks like this going forward. As far as back seat space goes, it's pretty much unchanged. Plenty of headroom back here. I'm 5'9", sitting behind myself with the seat adjusted up front. I have tons of leg room over here, plenty of leg room, honestly. It's very comfortable back here, and tons of headroom. So I would say if you're, you know, even over 6 feet tall, you'll be pretty comfortable back here on, you know, long road trips. It'll comfortably seat 5 people, actually. That includes the driver. One thing that they have changed back here, which is no longer comes standard, you no longer get a cup holder back here in the 2018 models, whereas on the, at least on the 2017 models, I know on my car, there was a cup holder standard back here for 2 cups. It kind of popped out when you pulled it and closed it, everything integrated back into the centered console here. What we do have, though, is an awesome addition. You do have the cup holders are now placed back here on this center armrest here that comes down. The previous models did not have it. All right, let's start it up and go for a test drive. The 2018 models, this particular model comes with a keyless entry system. Subaru has had for a few years now. Love it. These keys are a really nice feeling. All you got to do is keep the key fob in your pocket and go ahead and push the push start, and the car starts up. So this car is equipped with the STI short throw shifter. And aside from that, that's really the only performance option that's added to this vehicle that doesn't come standard on the 2018 STIs. So I'm driving around on a fairly smooth road. It's nothing bumpy or anything like that. No cracks, no bumps or abrasions on the road or anything like that. So it's fairly smooth. And with the upgraded 19-inch wheels and the tires and the tweaked suspension, comparing to the previous model STIs, this feels incredibly smooth and soft on the road. There's some bumps here and I'm going over. I'm sure the camera kind of shook a little bit there, but for the person driving it, like myself, it's really smooth. Coming from my 2017 STI, which I drove up here, I mean, that car's a lot more rough than this model. It's super smooth, super comfortable. I can daily this STI way more than I can daily the previous STI models, hands down. That's for sure. Feels really smooth. As far as the handling goes, so far I can't really tell a difference between the previous models and 2018 STI. From what I'm aware of, they tweaked the suspension a bit, or made it a bit more enhanced, and I personally believe that was due to the upgraded wheels and tires. I feel like they had to make up for it in the suspension and kind of adjust accordingly. So yeah, there's some more bumps here, and the car feels great. Really, it feels like those older Buicks or Oldsmobiles where they felt like a boat and they just kind of absorb bumps and you felt like you're going on waves. Don't flame me for saying that, but it feels super comfortable. The transmission feels great. So for those wondering if you should get the upgraded short throw shift package from Subaru, it's about somewhere around $400, I'd say. I personally think it's worth it. This is the first time I've driven in the WRX or STI model that had the factory short shift kit, and my God, it feels incredible. I have an upgraded aftermarket short throw shift kit in my STI, and I'm considering switching out for this. Call me out if you want in the comments, but this feels amazing. It is so short, so crisp. It feels really good every time I shift. I just want to keep shifting. It feels awesome. Super smooth. I don't miss shift at all. It's, when I shift, it goes right where I want it to go. It goes right into whichever gear I want it to go, whether it's upshifting or downshifting. Feels great. The motor is unchanged for the 2018 model. A lot of people were hoping that there'd be some type of change or upgrade. No, that is not the case. So I personally don't think it would have been a smart option or a smart move done by Subaru if they, changed the motor 3 years into production of this line of STIs. I don't think it would have been a smart option if they, made a change, just a few years after, they brought out this generation of STIs. Yes, it's still the old EJ motor, but it's still doing its job. There are no tweaks with the 2018 models, so this isn't compared to the Type RA, so that's something completely different. I'm gonna go ahead and put the car in Sport Sharp, turn the traction control off, and give this car a go and see how it does on the nice, smooth, quiet roads back in Mexico. Yeah, still has plenty of punch. Feels just like any other STI, to be honest with you, of the current, generation. Downshifts are crisp, smooth. Feels great. I don't know if it's just my head playing around with me, but it actually does kind of feel like it's pulling me into my seat a bit more than the previous models. This could just be in my head. I don't see why that would be the case, because there's no power upgrades. There's really the only performance upgrades would be in the brakes, the wheels, and the suspension, which has light tweaking. The differential went from mechanical to fully electronic. As far as how it sends power to each wheel, I don't think that really has changed. It's just the way that the differential system works now. Everything is controlled electronically via computer versus the mechanical diff system. Whew. Handles great. I mean, I can't tell that you have 19-inch wheels on here. Now, what I'm going to test here is the braking system. Let's see if the 6 pots made a huge difference. I'm going 30 and... not bad. Can't really tell. I can't really tell, you know, how much of a difference there is between the 4-pot and the 6-pot. This is really going to play out on the track. And since we are not on a track, I am not going to attempt to play around with the brake system. All right, turn down here. Let's go from first gear. Whew. Yeah, this thing can still pick up pretty fast. It's not the fastest car in the world, by no means crazy fast, but it's definitely quicker than the average car. You'll definitely easily be able to pass cars on the highway when needed to. It's not meant for speed, you know. It's just such a fun car, and I think they kept that with the 2018 model year. Now, you're not really getting much tweaks as far as the performance goes. Now, you get the brakes, but honestly, day-to-day driving, I can't tell a difference, and I don't think you really are going to tell a difference, because they're just, I mean, 6 pots, going from a 4-pot brake system to 6 pots just up front, you really aren't gonna tell on a day-to-day driving, just driving through city roads or, you know, some back roads. Really, it'll play out where you'll notice the differences on the track, and you know, maybe even then you really won't tell much of a difference. So I personally, you know, if you're getting a brand new STI when you've never had one before, I think it's a good idea. Go for it, you know, if you've never owned one. But all right, so basically my opinions on the 2018 STI. It's a great car. I love all the small touches and tweaks that they've done as far as the interior goes, making, you know, kind of like the soft touch material they have added everywhere, and the sound deadening they've added in the car. You really can tell, you know, it's definitely much quieter in the cabin. You don't hear much road noise or other cars driving by when all your windows are up. It's really nice, and I love all the soft touch leather and the red stitching that they've added on the inside. You get a nice red seatbelt here, kind of giving it a more sportier appearance. But aside from that, the interior, I think, is where the 2018 shines as far as any differences go between, you know, the previous model to the current, to the new 2018 model. So I hook you all enjoyed this video review of the 2018 Subaru WRX STI. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for tons more awesome content. And if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Really appreciate that. And leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. How do you like the new car? Did you enjoy this video review? What do you think of the 2018 STI? Are you considering getting one? Thanks for watching, and a huge shout out to North End Subaru and Mazda out in Lunenburg, Massachusetts. Thanks to them for letting me review this vehicle for you today. And if you're interested in the car, this car is currently available for sale. Go ahead and talk to Bob. He'll hook you up. But yeah, again, thanks for watching. See you next time. All right, I'm already jealous of this right here. Look at this. Leather, red stitching on the side of the shifter here, trim. That is freaking amazing. See, small touches like that, I think, are really nice. Brings a little bit of upscale into the car.